It's 6 o'clock, so we might as well get started. So thanks for joining us for the Development Authority meeting. We'll call the meeting to order at 6 p.m. The first item on the agenda is roll call. So we have Jack, Sean, David, Morgan, and Dan here. Joe and John are not with us tonight. So our statement of purpose is that the Development Authority of Alpharetta is granted the powers and jurisdiction through the State of Georgia General Assembly and a resolution adopted by the Alpharetta City Council on September 3rd, 1996. The function of this authority is to promote the public good and general welfare, trade, commerce, industry, general tax base, and the employment opportunities available in the city of Alpharetta. We now move on to the public comment section of our agenda. Ms. Romano, do we have any public comment cards?
We do not.
Okay. So since we do not have anyone, we can move on to our consent agenda. Our consent agenda consists of the minutes from the meeting of March 12th, 2026, the financial management reports as of January 31st, 26, and the financial management reports as of February 28th of 26. Do we have any comments or a motion for this consent agenda?
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All right, so Sean has made a motion to approve and David has seconded. We will now cast our votes electronically. So we are 5 for 5, passed in favor, none opposed. So the next item on the agenda is Development Authority, update on Development Authority projects, and Diana will present this item.
Hi, good evening. I have some updates on a few of the projects that have previously come before you. Just kind of to add to last month's meeting, we talked a little bit about the city center. And if you recall, that we received a notice of transfer of interest for the city center office portion. It currently houses Data Scan, but that was transferred to VK Advisors Incorporated, and it is going to be occupied by Howard Capital Management. This transfer was permitted by the bond documents. They were certified as a qualified real estate investor pursuant to Section 9.8A5 of the bond lease. As such, they were able to make this transfer without needing to bring it back before the Development Authority, so no action is needed from you on this. It has already happened. It happened on December 30th. As I mentioned, Howard Capital Management is going to occupy the building. Ultimately, it's currently still has its current tenant, which is Data Scan. They are expected to move out in June, with Howard Capital Management moving in around that time. And they intend to make some maybe minor renovations to the space, some security improvements. They're going to occupy the 3rd and 4th floor of the building. Second floor, they've mentioned, could be potential for leasing that out in the future, but no current immediate plans to lease it out. I very much got the sense that they're going to just kind of get into the space and see how they use it and what their needs are. Very excited to be a part of the city, so I'm excited to welcome them. They'll have about 15 employees-ish in the office at that location. They have about 40 employees company-wide. There's definitely the possibility to add new jobs, but again, no concrete plans that they expressed at this time. The next update I have for you is for the Equifax expansion. If you recall, this project was for the acquisition and construction of and renovation improvement for an existing building located at 1505 Windward Concourse. That is transitioning the current space from a data center to more of a workspace for Equifax's expanding technology team. Equifax obtained the certificate of occupancy for this project on January 21st. Renovations have been completed. They moved into that space or opened the 3rd floor renovations that they did in mid-March. They have added around 400 seats in that space, which is great news. The projection for jobs based on the bond documents was 244 jobs. So based on them adding 400 seats, there's definitely the potential for them to grow even further and expand even farther than that 244 number. They are hiring for positions. I also think they're going to be shifting some positions from other locations that they have, particularly from their Atlanta location. It will be primarily IT and tech positions. Also excited to be in this space. They are very happy with how things have turned out, and mentioned that the company has been very pleased with how everything has gone in Alpharetta, and that the success of this project has the definite potential to lead to further expansion in that building, particularly possibly the first floor, which is currently being used, I believe, as a data center. So there is possibility to convert that at a future date. Next, I have an update.
Just one cool question. So January 21st was their CO?
Yes,
So that triggers the
the tax
abatement.
Yes.
But I think the assessment date is, what, 1/1 of the year?
Yeah, the way that the tax MOU that's with Fulton County, that's part of the bond documents, essentially the CEO triggers the completion, which then triggers the tax commencement date on January 1 of the following year. So the great news is they're on schedule. The completion was expected to be by the end of this year. So great news, that they've been able to move forward and within the time frame. And as Diana mentioned, I think the other big note there is, they've added seats for up to 400 when we first announced the project. They were looking at 244 new positions. So I think it's a great progress for that project, and that's part of what we want to do with these updates is just make sure that you all, because sometimes you approve these things, and I'm sure you're interested to learn how are things going with them. So I think this is one that is
Thank you
going
very
well.
much.
Yeah.
Yes. So as you mentioned, it's on schedule, on time, and hopefully going to add some more jobs. Additionally, we have an update on the Continuum project. This was for the acquisition and construction and equipping of 550,000 square feet of existing office with a future mixed-use campus located at 5555 Windward. The project is ongoing and recently obtained its primary certificate of occupancy on March 18th. This one has reported that the infrastructure improvements are on the office parcel are underway, and they are expected to be completed around fall of this year, if not at the end of this year. And they are currently working on the tenant improvements for the spaces to be occupied by DataScan, which is an inventory management and counting solutions company, and they are moving from the city center. And then also Connier, which is an architectural solutions company specializing in aluminum systems for commercial building construction. They're relocating from Norcross into Alpharetta. Both DataScan and Connier are expected to move in around June. And then also, of course, additional tenant improvements are expected as new tenants are added to the space. So also, like Equifax, I think this is also set to be completed by the end of this year as well. So they are also currently on track for that as well. And then finally, I have an update for you on the Dogwood project. This was a tax-exempt financing for the acquisition and rehabilitation of Dogwood Square, which is a 5-story building of units serving seniors and physically handicapped. They are doing essentially a complete revitalization of each unit on that property. So new flooring, cabinets, countertops, appliances, paint, also improving some common spaces, particularly their community room. And they are actually expanding their community room to be able to provide better space for their residents. They have said that the project is about 40% complete. They've done a little over 30 units and then also done some work on the common spaces, and they expect to be completed definitely by the end of this year, if not before then. So, yeah.
Thank you very much. I guess next on the agenda then would be Charlie's going to give us an update on the city's economic development activities.
Yeah, we've been busy as usual. As I think I reported last month, we were planning to go to the Site Selectors Guild, and that has happened last month. Mandy and I attended that conference, which was hosted in Buckhead. Typically, that rotates around the U.S. to different cities. But I had an opportunity there. I think they had roughly about 35 to 40 consultants over a 2-day period. We were able to hit probably close to 25, definitely 20, and had some good conversations. Just, the primary goal there is just to promote the city to site selection consultants who work with companies that primarily were interested in the office side of the house. They do have other consultants there that do other industrial, but we had some good conversations. One of the consultants that actually does office projects mentioned that he had seen, or he gets our newsletter that we send out to site selectors and commercial brokers, and mentioned Mandy that he thought it was one of the best ones that was out there, and talked about all the headquarters projects that we had been getting over the last few months and talking about. So it's good to hear that feedback, because sometimes you send out a newsletter and we can see people clicking on it through the analytics, but to have someone from that targeted audience give that type of feedback means that we're tailoring our content and we're getting noticed. The other update is around actually a company that has relocated to Alpharetta. So Klockner Metals has officially relocated to 23,000 square feet of space in Sanctuary Park. So it's a headquarters project that employs about 120 employees. They invested about $1.3 million in renovating the space, and they just officially moved in a couple weeks ago. They had been located in Roswell and just jumped across the city boundary into Sanctuary Park there. But that was a company that reached out probably back in June, just inquiring about what they would need to do through the process of renovating space, and us and our community development department worked with them and been working with them to get them to this point today. So great to have another company relocate and lease another chunk of space in our office market here in Alpharetta. We have some other initiatives related to Connected Alpharetta, which is our marketing initiative to promote the city as a premier destination for business and talent. So over the next 2 months, beginning the middle of this month, I think it's April 15th, we'll be having digital ads run in the Atlanta Business Chronicle that will rotate through different messages about Connected Alpharetta. And specifically what I mean by that is Alpharetta and our position as a great place to do business, and particularly around office type of users, trying to put certain stats and messages out there to hopefully get more attention about all the activity that's happening here in the city. So we'll have those run for 2 months. Mandy helped set those up and has taken the lead on testing that out. It is the first time that we've done a digital ad with the Atlanta Business Chronicle, but we think there's an opportunity there to help get the word out, particularly in the greater metro Atlanta market as well. So we'll have that running for 2 months. So if you go to the Atlanta Business Chronicle, you may see Alpharetta pop up somewhere in an article as an ad there. And then the only other update I have is next month I will be attending Select USA with the State of Georgia's Economic Development Department. They'll have a pavilion at the conference, which is essentially a conference for international companies that have been invited by embassies, or the U.S. Department of Commerce uses the embassies around the world to invite companies here to learn about locating and doing business here. So the state of Georgia typically has a pavilion there to help spread the word about Georgia. The pavilion hall is full of other economic development organizations, so other states are there as well. But I'll be traveling up for a couple days with the state effort, and we'll, as a sponsor, we actually will have our logo on the booth as well, and we'll have a short, I think, 60 or minute and a half video of Alpharetta playing on a loop with some other communities that have sponsored as well. So I think we'll be well represented there, and look forward to promoting the city at that event as well. But outside of that, those are the updates that I have for you this evening, and be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
I saw that I think both you and Mandy had posted or reposted on LinkedIn the recent naming of Alpharetta as the #1 place to start a business. Is that what?
Yeah, so help remind me, Mandy, it was for the #1 place for
best cities for, best small cities for big career opportunities.
yeah, and that was through, initially, we had promoted that. It was an accolade through a publication called Co-working Cafe, and then that was back in January, and then within the last 3 weeks, the New York Times actually picked up that article and helped push it even further than what Co-working Cafe or us, but it has gotten, I will say, a lot of attention through that extra push by the New York Times.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for the updates. So the next item on the agenda is our meeting that is scheduled for May 14th. And if that date sounds familiar, Diane is going to tell you why.
That's right. That's right. Our next regular meeting is scheduled for May 14th. That is the same date as the Taste of Alpharetta, which is a very well-attended event that is located just outside City Hall. And so due to the traffic and parking and attendance concerns for the public being able to attend or access the meeting, we think it would be, our suggestion would be to cancel the meeting for May. Obviously, if a need arose for a meeting, we could call a meeting needed for that month. Otherwise, the next meeting will be in June, and I'm sorry, the date escapes me. But otherwise, the next regular scheduled meeting would be our June meeting. So our suggestion would be to cancel the May meeting in light of the Taste of Alpharetta event.
So would anyone like to make a motion?
I move that we cancel the meeting for May and meet in June.
I'll second.
So we have a motion to cancel the meeting made by Dan, and Morgan has seconded it. So we will vote electronically. And that has passed 5 in favor with none against. Next on the agenda. Charlie, do we have an executive session?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we do have a need for a discussion in executive session tonight regarding records that are otherwise protected from disclosure under the Open Records Act.
Okay. So do we have a motion to move into executive session?
I move, we move into executive session.
Second.
So we have a motion made by Sean and seconded by David to move into executive session, and we will now cast our votes electronically. So we have moved, we have voted 5 in favor and 0 opposed to move into executive session. So we will move from here into the chambers. So first thing we have to do is have a motion to reconvene out here. Do we have a motion?
I move that we reconvene.
I'll second.
So we have a motion by Dan, a second by Morgan. Now we'll vote electronically. So reconvening has been approved, 5 votes, none against. And with that, there's no further business to hear or discuss. So the meeting is now adjourned at 7:16. Thanks, everybody.